Hi, today I'm going to give a quick overview of Content Genie, which is an AI-based content generation and AI-based lead generation platform. So I'm going to straight away walk into the demo. So this is the landing dashboard for the Content Genie. It kind of talks to both sides in terms of the content performance as well as on the lead gen side, specifically in terms of the metrics. But kind of getting into the lead gen specifically, what we're seeing is basically as you kind of land onto the lead gen, you're actually going to see a lot of the metrics in terms of all the campaigns which you're running. Now, the interesting piece about the AI-based lead gen is basically it. Let me kind of start off with the journey and then kind of talk to each of the features. So let's say I want to kind of go ahead and start off with a campaign for smart home automation, which one of clients, one of my clients, where I'd like to run a campaign talking or selling about its products. So in this case, I would go in terms of identifying which regions I want to kind of specify. I have a choice in terms of zeroing down regions, specifically map points, but I'm not going to do that because I want this campaign to run for entire India specific campaign. I kind of go ahead and define a start date. Usually, I want to run this campaign for about 10 days, and it's the messaging track is more in terms of what am I really want to do. Is it to reach out, introduction, or is something else? And the delivery mechanism I'm kind of looking as email, and let's say I'd like to kind of put in myself as a owner out here. So the next thing is I'm going to kind of go ahead and give the delegation schedule in terms of the initial first follow-up and the second follow-up, and in this case, I'll go ahead and mention status active. And I may choose to kind of just define a campaign, but not. The interesting piece out here is that you really need to upload the ICP or the ideal customer profile to a pretty. It has to be fairly comprehensive because this is what eventually it's going to be using to pull leads from various lead platforms like Lucia or Apollo or Discovery for that matter. So let's take a minute to kind of dive specifically into the on onto what the ideal customer for. So for the client in question out here, we have talking about smart home automation. They're based out of Pune. The target segments they're looking at is these four, and the pain points, the trigger points, and I would want a specific geography. I could do that, and basically I'm also given the pricing range of the corresponding services and the platform which they're all and the tech maturity which they're kind of looking at. Now, this obviously is more pictorial by nature, but I'd like to kind of upload it to AI, and AI understands text better than nothing. So let's go ahead and upload something specifically from a text per se. Give me a minute. So here I'm going to go ahead, upload the corresponding ICP for smart home automation. Here is IHA. I would go and upload the corresponding product documentation specifically, and I may mention, the corresponding this is a smart home, and yeah, obviously if I want I can give an intent definition a little bit better out here, but this is just to kind of basically get this thing running. Now after you've done that, you can obviously, if you already have leads, you can upload the leads out here. If not, you can just go ahead and submit. Now this will go ahead and create a campaign of your choice. Now furthermore, I already have the smart home automation out here, which we already done for 15 clients. And the interesting piece is, once here you can actually kind of import the leads directly from tools like Apollo. It's already been integrated with Apollo, so you can click here and you're going to get the corresponding leads specifically based on the ICP criteria. Now, what the AI engine is going to do behind, because you've given a lot of documentation of the product, the ICP, and everything put together. So it's important that it has to be put to good use. So what it really does is basically it's going to go ahead and analyze each of the customer. Now let's say I'm talking a Century real estate customer out here, and it gives me a very good prospect card based on the ICP which are defined in terms of whom to reach out to. Here, in case we have the LinkedIn profile, we have a number as well, and we have the comprehensive analysis and etc. and all this stuff. Now, the thing is, as much of documentation you're going to give to AI, the better the prospect card is going to become. So in this case, the product documentation we had uploaded was the Vice's smart home automation. So it's the interesting piece here is that the AI is going to start looking at areas in terms of where you might need the product which we are trying to sell out here. In this case, the customer is trying to sell smart home automation, and so basically it's trying to gauge the smart home maturity report and it kind of assigns a maturity score as well. Furthermore, things get interesting. It basically tries to answer question from a buyer seller standing point for you. That is there an alignment? Is there a high interest? Is there a buying potential? What's a key fit? And focus and so on. And basically, it kind of gives the entire stuff in terms. Now, interesting piece, it's going to go ahead and generate the corresponding emails out. So you can see the emails very specific to the Wiser, and these are hyper personalized emails, and it's all kind of put in all your to Calendly, everything there is. So it very nicely generates the email specifically to your requirement. These are hyper personalized email because based on the maturity score and the suitability rating, it tries to answer the question that what you like, what is there a need, and there's no need, you're not the right person to this thing. Now the interesting piece is this is all great, I mean the point which is it's all good, but the point is really how do I really take this conversation to the next level? Now then the idea here is that fine, we've sent the emails, we've sent all of that stuff, but then how do I get to a point where I could basically test waters with the customer? And in this case, I could actually do a test call. Now, let's say we have a voice agent out here which is going to call the customer. But in this case, I like to call it, and I like to be the customer and see how this is going to react. Let's do that right now. So, doing it right away. And the call is initiated. And here comes the call. So, let's answer. Hi, Nithya Vairamodi. This is Deepak, Sales Development Representative from Acme Corp. Hi Deepak, how is it going and what's the specific reason you're trying to call me? Hey Nithya, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I just wanted to follow up on our previous email about the Wiser TM Smart Home System. I thought it'd be great to chat and see if you had any questions or if there's anything specific you're curious about. Is this a good time for you? Yeah, so looking at the business, Deepak, that we are in, we don't purchase single smart home solutions. We look at for the entire project, right? So we're looking at something which is more comprehensive from a pricing standpoint of view. I don't know if your company is into bulk selling out here, and if it's going to kind of come around give discounts. But I'd really like to understand, before even we get into a discussion for any further conversation. Got it, Nitya. That makes total sense. You're looking for a comprehensive solution that fits your project needs, and I totally understand the importance of pricing and bulk options. We do work with businesses on larger projects, and there might be opportunities for discounts when you're looking at a more extensive implementation. I'd love to learn more about your specific requirements and see how we can tailor our offerings to suit your needs. What kind of projects are you currently working on, if you don't mind sharing? So, Deepak, there are about three active projects which our company is working with Nandan Associates, and we are looking to basically install a lot of the smart home services and automations, as a part of these ongoing projects. And these are Pune based. So, my question here is that is this something which you can service, help? If not, then we shouldn't be talking further. I see. So you're working on multiple projects with London Associates in Pune, and you are looking to integrate smart home services and automation into those. That's exciting. Yes, correct. We can definitely support projects like that. We have experience in providing comprehensive solutions tailored to larger developments, and we can work with you to ensure everything aligns with your vision. If you're open to it, maybe we could set up a time to discuss the specifics of your project and see how we can collaborate effectively. Yeah, Deepak, but are you aware of Nandan Associates? They are fairly a large builder out of Pune. Yeah, I've heard of Nandan Associates. They're quite well known in the industry, right? Sounds like you're working with some significant players. I can imagine that having the right smart home solutions would be crucial for those projects. So, are you aware of the latest projects of Nandan Associates? I'm not fully up to date on their latest project, but I know they've been involved in some pretty impressive developments. If you have any specific projects in mind, I'd love to hear about them. It could help me understand how we might fit into what you're looking to achieve. So great. So we have an immediate need for one other project called Prospera. And based on that, we'd like to take this conversation ahead. So, how do you suggest we do this? Awesome. Prospera sounds like a fantastic project to get involved with. I suggest
we set up a more detailed conversation where we can dive into your specific needs for that project. We can discuss how the Wiser system could be integrated and any pricing options we can offer for a bulk setup. Would you prefer a call or maybe a meeting next week to go over everything? What works best for you?
Yeah, I could do a meeting on next Tuesday around about 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time if that works.
That works perfectly for me, Nitya. I'll go ahead and schedule that for next Tuesday at 3 p.m. IST. I'll send you a calendar invite to confirm. Looking forward to diving deeper into the Prospera project and seeing how we can collaborate. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Deepak.
You're welcome, Nitya. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions before our meeting, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.
Thank you for the call, Deepak. So you've seen that we've had a live conversation with the customer, and we've kind of talked about the projects. We've kind of moved into various direction in terms of the conversation, talking about new projects, and the voice agent has come out very nicely, conversing at a human level and talking everything there is to it about the Vicer and trying to get a meeting. So the point which we're really trying to drive is this voice agent is trying to close the loop down to the MQL status. Now, if you find this bit very interesting, you should reach out to us and we should be talking more in terms of how we can really improvise your solutions from a outbound marketing or lead generation standpoint of view all the way to MQL. Now, if you feel this is value, reach out to me. Thank you for all the time you take in to attend this session. Thank you.